What's happening, everybody? We're back out in the shop today. We've got a trailer here, kind of a car hauler, bumper pole, and the customer hauls his side-by-side with it. And if you look at this on the back, this is 1-inch bar, and this is the system that the ramps use. So he wants to modify the sides of the trailer so that he can pull a four-wheeler up this way. So what we're going to do is we've got some 1-inch bar over there we're going to cut, and we're going to run it from here to here. Going to weld it on all 4 pockets so it's nice and sturdy, and then he wants us to touch the paint up, and then eventually he mentioned building something here to put a winch on it and possibly move the spare tire to another location. So we're gonna get over to the saw, we'll get the round bar on it, and let's get cutting. There she is, right there. Gonna need a pipe stand. So I was gonna say we should check the saw for square, but we're actually, which it is nice and square, but we're actually not gonna cut these square. We're gonna cut them with a 45. We're gonna do them a solid and 45 those to try to keep from lacerating their kneecap. So let's get that set up now. On my saw, there's a couple bolts on the back here. Take that square. So that's good there. We'll tighten her down. This doesn't have to be a perfect 45, but it'll look better if we get them all the same angle. So I'm actually going to have to move old Blue out of the way so we can put these in the saw at a 45. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so we got our 1-inch hot rolled steel bar in the saw set to a 45. We're going to cut it 45 on both ends, 86 inches long. Then we'll get it over to the trailer, start figuring out where we got to grind the paint off. So let's go from there. The head on a lot of these saws swivels. This one does not, so that's why I got the bar shooting off this way into the wall. Because mine doesn't swivel, I'm going to have to take the saw, pick it up with the crane, and turn it so that I can get 86 inches sticking out of the saw so we can cut it. So just another one of those things you got to do when the equipment doesn't have the features that you always need sometimes. So. Okay, so we got our piece cut. Gonna go on just like so. So now we'll buff the paint off. We'll figure out how high we need to put it. get ready to weld those on. Okay, a little update. I went ahead and cut both of these the same length, and fun fact, they are not the same. So I'm not sure why. I don't really see a reason why they would make them different. But if you look at this side, this pocket sits forward compared to that pocket over there. So probably gonna have to trim this one down. It's not a big deal. It's just I guess a quick lesson on measuring all the spaces that you need to make modifications to, because they're not always going to be the same, I guess. Anyway, we'll get this one over in the saw, chop off a couple inches. Looks like I need to chop off like 4 or 5 inches, get it back over here, and then we're ready to start grinding on these pockets and getting them all cleaned up, ready to tack up there. Let's do it. Okay, so we're just going to buff the paint off on like the top, I don't know, 1.5 inches on every one of these pockets, and then we'll be ready to tack it on. Okay, so we've got the XMT dragged over here. We're running it at 24.5 volts, 315 on the wire speed. We're burning dual shield flux core wire. We're shielding it with CO2. The thing to remember is, see, they didn't do it this way on the back, but I think it'll be better if we hold the bar a 1/4 inch below the top of the pocket, because the material that the ramps is made out of is a 1/4 inch material. That way when he puts the ramps on, they're perfectly flush and they don't stick up past the top surface of the trailer. That's how we're going to do it, or we're going to try it anyway. Let's go to that point. Alright, so we're all tacked up. It's sitting down 1/4 inch. These are good and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and tack these. Try to keep it from rolling and moving. And then I'm going to just go ahead and try to weld them out. And stuff like this, I really try to seal weld the whole way around, because if you leave a pocket that's where rust usually starts bleeding out. So you want to try to seal weld stuff like this and then paint it, and usually you won't have a problem. Obviously we're not going to be able to powder coat it, but we're going to paint it with oil base. It should be good enough. So I'm going to get that tacked. I'll probably check it with a ramp and then weld it out. There goes nothing. Okay, so got a little project here, a little side project got to get done in the shop. I've had these 2 bolt bins for probably over a year now, and I built this rack, and it used to be about this tall, and a couple weeks ago I cut the legs down, dropped these down because I knew I wanted to get 2 more bolt bins. So the problem is, I've got grade 8 standard hardware. I've got stainless standard hardware. I wanted some metric hardware because I get tired of driving to the hardware store for 1 bolt or 2 bolts. Plus they're 10 times more expensive if you go to the hardware store. So I wanted some metric hardware. and I also wanted some zinc standard hardware, just regular grade 5. So I ordered 2 more bolt bins and grade 5 zinc hardware and some metric, and if I remember right, it was metric grade 8. So anyway, tonight I'm going to clean all this crap off here. I'm going to mount the other 2 bolt bins and then get everything organized and labeled. Then we'll be all set up for any kind of hardware we should run into, unless it's something crazy big or something like that. But so let's see if we can't get this knocked out. Try to suck in the bottom first. I think I like that. That'll keep it from tipping over on anybody or getting knocked off or anything. Alright, so we'll get this one in. Just the same process. And then we'll be ready to put some stickers on. Okay, so we got them all mounted. Now all that's left to do is get the stickers on them. So we gotta go through and get them all put on. We're gonna use the same system we did here. We're gonna go ahead and get some stickers on them and start loading them up. Alright, so we got those put in. It's all organized. So we've got our just regular zinc standard, grade 5, grade 8 standard, grade 8 metric, and stainless standard. There's just something beautiful about having nice organized hardware. And if you'll notice, they must have been out of M14 by 50 because they gave me just regular black. They're still grade 8, but they're black. And I think they did that just to give me a nervous twitch because of my OCD, so that'll give me something to be annoyed with. Anyway, so that'll be good. Less trips to the hardware store. I can just walk over here and grab what I need. Let's get back to the big task at hand. Alright folks, they're all welded out. Tried to get every nook and cranny. So, we're going to take the needle scaler here and go ahead and try to get all the slag knocked off. Hit it with a buffing wheel, clean it up, and then it should be ready to paint on this side. Alright, here. Okay, I'm going to come back a little. Alright, got those done, top and bottom, sealed all around the inside there. Now all we got to do is get some paint mixed up and spray them, so we're going to go over see if we can't get that done before we lose the taillight. This is just one of those cheap sprayers from Home Depot. But honestly, for stuff like this is a pretty dang good sprayer. I've had this for probably 2 years now and it has been awesome. Does a good job. You can adjust your spray. So for smaller stuff, using oil-based paint, these are pretty sweet. I think they cost like, I don't know, 70 bucks or something like that. Alright, let's get over there and paint it. Okay, so we're all done. Paint looks good. I think it turned out good. Just gonna wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Adios. Right here, so that he could pull his side-by-side up the side, or four-wheelers or whatever. Probably not a side-by-side, but he wants to modify the sides of the trailer so he can pour. So we got our 1-inch cold rolled, 1-inch. Okay, so we got our 1-inch hot rolled steel bar. We're going to go ahead and cut the end off on the square. Here we go. Warp mode. Put your end down. See the mark on your end? Alright. Got it all up my sleeve. That's cool. Good deal. Well, we beat the sunlight, and now we're just out for a walk. We got the stinker. Hey! Quite a sunset, though.